Hello everyone, my name is Sunčica, but you can call me Suki. I hope you're doing well, that you're spending these last couple of days of 2025 in a calm, beautiful way, surrounded with people you love, doing what you love. I want to use the beginning of the video as an opportunity to remind you that my upcoming month-long challenge in January, 5 minutes of yoga for busy people, is going out on 1st of January, so don't miss it, especially if you want to start slow, mindful, and if you want to have a simple routine that will keep you consistent. So yoga doesn't have to be complicated, it really just has to be consistent and you need to keep applying it. And I feel like if you start small with 5 minutes and you do it 5 minutes whole month, maybe next month you can do it 10 minutes and then maybe 15 and so on and so on. So if you haven't for a long time practice, or if you haven't find the time for yourself, I think the most realistic thing is to start with 5 minutes and then build up from there. So if this sounds good to you, I invite you to follow the challenge, subscribe, share with others, and keep me updated about your progress, or how you feel about it, how it goes. This topic might feel, weird, and I have a huge respect for astrology, by the way. I love it, I follow it. So I just want to give some personal opinions, my personal perspectives. Maybe someone will understand it too, maybe someone will share it, maybe someone will have a beautiful, different opinion. So I'm really open for all of it. So I was talking with my friend, and I have been noticing so many changes in myself this year, so kind of all of that is building up to my new thoughts, new beliefs. Well, not maybe new, but anyway, fresh. Let's call them that way. So I do think, so this is what I find interesting. I do think that everything in life is connected. So that is my main starting point, right? That is why I do believe that the planets, stars, and all of that can definitely affect us, shape us in some way, and etc. So that is why I like in general astrology. I do sometimes feel a certain way for no apparent reason, and then when I read about a little bit what's going on, I feel like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on, right? So I like it. It feels like, I guess it helps people feel understood. I'm not the only one feeling that. I feel it gives us a sense of belonging and being understood, and I feel like all of us want to be understood. At least that's my deepest need, to be understood rather than all of that. Because I think if you understand me, then you're really deeply can love me, and I do think that's in general the truth. So so there's this belief, everything is connected, therefore I like the astrology, I like the effect the sky, the universe has on us. That's what I believe in. And now why I don't go to astrologists, why I don't analyze my natal chart with the professional astrologist, although I do it on my own, is because for me that would be two conflicting beliefs, and I don't think two conflicting beliefs can exist inside of us and we can have a proper alignment. I think we can be open to it, but I don't think we can believe it equally and then have an alignment, right? So on one hand, I believe I'm the creator of my own reality, of my own destiny, of my future, present, past, right? That's my belief. I do believe in that. So astrologists, I can't believe equally that astrologists can tell me anything about my past, present, and future. I mean, they can tell me, but I cannot equally believe the two things. So if I'm in the power, if I'm the one who can create, who can change, then what can other person give me? No, I know, perspective. We all give each other perspective. So if it's a perspective, fine, right? It's completely fine. But if I go and analyze, for example, a year yearly what is going to happen to me, then I have to go every year to the astrologist to tell me what is going to happen to me every year. And then I'm guided by the thoughts of what somebody else thinks is good for me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. They say millionaires have something, but billionaires have astrologists. Like, I believe that you can create a life of your dreams if your dream is to be a billionaire, but I think that dream sucks, and I don't think there should be billionaires. But if that's what you want in your life, somebody to tell you how to navigate through life, to give you like good moments, so on, the obstacles, I believe in that. So I believe that that is true, and I understand the need for people to do that. But my deeper belief that I am capable of doing all of that on my own. So if somebody else tells me, I, knowing myself, will get too fixated on that, and I don't think I could explore the freedom of choice in a way that I like for myself. And this is not like right or wrong, this is just perspective, and maybe some people share the same opinion or like a perspective on life with me, or somebody is like, how dare you? But I have deep respect for astrologists and for like collective and even personal, like for people who took so much time into creating this beautiful language of understanding ourselves. I think astrology is really powerful for that, and I love it. And I read it. I think it's important for my life, but not as important as knowing that I can create my reality and completely change my karma and completely change everything that is written in the stars, right? So this is, for me, like astrology is here, but like yoga and knowing that all the truth is inside of us, it's even higher, right? It's above. So again, I don't think like those can coexist. And I think people at some point in life decide. So if people decide like, yeah, I want to have my astrologist, and then they will help me navigate through life, they will tell me if this partner is for me or not. That's a perfect decision. And as long as you're aligned with the decision, I think everything is all right. But here is another, so maybe I'm sounding that I'm not aligned because I like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But yeah, I think, as I said, my two big beliefs is that everything is connected, so we are not separated. So of course, some things are affecting us, and on the other way, we can make the best out of whatever the circumstances or wherever the situation is, because that's the power of our inner power, the power of our higher self, of our inner calling, of our soul, that is, being embodied down. So. So that is what I wanted to say. That is the reason why I never had the natal chart analysis. Although I did once ask the question from the astrologist if it's a good timing to move out from my parents. I needed that was like the biggest thing, and I couldn't bear the unknown. So the confirmation from them that it's a perfect time to move out was good. So ultimately, I do think we do look for the confirmation, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Usually I can make my own mind, but I guess that decision felt like bigger than me, and I needed someone else to confirm me that. And this is another part why I decided I'm not going to do that again, is because I don't want to give my power away. And again, it's no one's fault or whatever, but I think we are taught that failing means the end, right? So that is why we need the confirmation for someone that things are going to work out. And we don't want to risk, and we don't want to go with our whole heart and soul into it because we might fail. But failure is the part of the process. Failure is the part of the path. So I don't want to skip that. I don't want to, not learn the lessons. I don't want to just go and be done with it and like have everything prepared for me. I actually want to learn. Maybe that's the moon in Capricorn for me. liking the hard way. But I don't want to know like who my future husband is going to be. I want to, take the risk of loving someone who is maybe not right for me, but still I'm learning something about myself. And I think that's important, and I like it that way. So that's like another thing, giving the power away. And I think it's important, whether we have psychologists, whether psychiatrists, whether we have, a priest, a guru. I don't think there should be another human being who should tell us what we should do, unless it's an open conversation when we're kind of like giving each other feedback or what we think, but not in a like predictive way, rather as in potential way. And I know a lot of astrologists who say they always only talk about potential, and I also think that's true. But again, knowing my personal predispositions, I get a little bit fixated or stuck on the thoughts. So for me, hearing something, I feel like that it would always, like in somewhere in the back of my mind, start to shape my reality, because I think that happens with a lot of us, and it doesn't have to do anything with astrologists. I think this is like we hear something from the childhood, and that starts to be our core belief, and then we like shape our reality based on that. So I'm more interested in understanding what my beliefs are, and from there start to change. Also, I was like, some things that I was reading about, my chart, because, and again, I don't know if the astrologist will find this like, how dare you, we will tell you that in a different or better way, or more understanding, because I guess somebody would tell me my path. But here's the thing, what is also why I don't like so much the predictions, but I like the openness and the possibilities. And whenever I read it to myself, I feel like I'm giving myself possibilities. But if somebody tells you, I think that the possibilities are taken away. Okay, that's another thing. So I was reading certain things about like my own chart and like having certain placements and so on. And like having that placement would mean a certain thing and so on. But like, and when I was reading, I was like, this is exactly how I was like 10, 12 years ago, like before yoga. But then yoga really changed so much, and I'm not that person anymore. I am definitely not the person who does the things like that anymore. And that's so powerful. And if somebody has told me that that's my obstacle, maybe I would be like, okay, this is going to be obstacle, and I would identify too much with that. But I didn't. I, never took like analysis about it, and I'm just like sometimes randomly, when I'm bored, read certain stuff, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I don't do that stuff anymore, and it came so naturally because of all these other beliefs that I know. And this is the thing, like astrologists are only humans, and they see one reality, and you have endless realities, endless. And even smallest change in your life can lead to opening so many other portals of realities. And no one can know that, because that is not a human possibility. No matter how good someone, at least that's my belief. Like no matter how someone good it is, should they know even? Should they give you? Again, aren't they taking away from you something, freedom of choice? Anyway, so we have like, okay, this is like one position, one option, but then you go to therapy, right? And you go into your core wounds, and you like understand yourself better on that. And then you change completely your reality, right? Or I don't know, you start doing yoga and you start meditating, and you completely start having different reality. And who can predict that? Like I'm certain that like if I went to astrologist, no one could tell me I could be a yoga instructor. It didn't even exist as a how do you say, occupation 20 years ago, especially not in Montenegro. So like we have to understand that human mind is limited. Every human mind is limited, and then we can open ourselves a little bit and give each other's perspectives. So, because I do believe we have endless possibilities to create reality, and we just by certain small changes that happen when we follow our inner calling, we can start understanding better our choices, and we can also change. And I do think that yoga is a way to be liberated from karma, and you don't have to live your karma for certain. You know, you can have explanations why you live in a certain way, but I'm like, you can always change. You can keep changing as long as you're alive. You don't have to stay stuck in, you know, whatever your sun sign is, or whatever square or trine is. I mean, some of these are good. So, but again, so yeah, I like the possibilities. I like to not know. I like to discover, and I think that's the part of the fun. Although fun is sometimes painful, but I still think it's fun, because I don't like, I guess I don't like so much the shortcuts. And I thought I did like shortcuts, but every time I was trying to take a shortcut, it wouldn't end well for me. So this is my story, and it doesn't have to be yours. Again, this is just the perspective. I do think everything is connected. I do think we are all affected. But I also do think we can choose what to do with that, and we can choose that we are not affected by someone. I do think we are that powerful. In that sense, I will continue reading astrology, and I won't ever go to astrologists for more opinions, because I'm ready to make mistakes. I want to keep making mistakes. I want to keep learning. I want to keep growing, and I don't want to know. I want to understand. And again, I know that all astrologists don't give such a, they really go deeper into stuff. I really do think that they, for some of my friends that I have been talking, they like when they got the predictions, because that is what they intuitively knew. So that was like a confirmation. And again, I do think that's a beautiful part of it, because for some, it can be a reminder that, yeah, we knew that all along. But when it comes to the future, it's all in our hands. So I hope I explained why I like, in general, what yoga, like as a philosophy and a practice, how it gave completely different turn to this stuff. And I hope everyone understands what I wanted to say, and that I don't think astrologists should not exist or something like that. I actually appreciate them, and they make a huge part of my feed. It's very entertaining, and I still like to know what people's sun, moon, and rising are, just to be clear. It helps a lot. But again, I do think that we can absolutely go beyond our starting position in life, in astrology, in everything. So therefore, I don't like to give my power in any human hand, rather my own. Like, if I should give to anyone, let it be me, right? Okay, I'm interested in hearing your opinion. And again, love the astrology, appreciate astrologists, just not my cup of tea for my life. And I guess astrologists would understand why is that. And anyway, thank you for existing, and for offering a different language for us of understanding ourselves. And yeah, keep doing the work. Some people really appreciate it, and I do too. Okay, I think that's enough for today.